Hello, guys. This is Miss Polly. I am today talking about polyandry. I was dual streaming earlier today, so I got a real good vibe. We are going to be having this discussion today about polyandry and some tips on how to help your partner transition from monogamy to polyandry. If you don't know, we can have a little quick just flash at you. So if you're a monogamous, you're used to dating one-on-one, you and your partner, and that's it. Polyandry is a woman who dates multiple men. Their number can go up, but usually one, two, or three, and then it's just her. There's only one woman involved. Sometimes they can have solo partners, but whole nother thing. Don't get too complex for you. So, if you are going to start dating, which a lot of polyandry women do tend to have to date monogamous because there's not a lot of men volunteering to date a woman when another man's dating them also. So sometimes just to get to know someone and get that bond, you start talking to people who are monogamous. So once we do that, you start talking to men who are monogamous. First tip would say is always let that person know what you're doing. Scary. Tell them. I am polyandry and I date more than one person at a time. Now, my boyfriend always tells me this because he says I'm bad with wording things. So in the larger community, when you say dating more than one man, usually mean like you're just going on dates, you're hanging out, having fun, whatever. No, I'm in a committed relationship. I'm with more than one man. Maybe not that moment, but that's what I'm looking for. You let them know that you're good, right? Then you want to make sure they know what that means. And especially if it's not a sexual thing for you, obviously, you're going to say, hey, it doesn't just mean we're having sex. Key point. Ha 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 ha. So that's what you're going to do. Let every monogamous man know what you're doing up front. Don't wait 2 dates in. I usually want to say, tell them on the first date, tell them on that first conversation, because you're giving them a choice. Don't steal anyone's choice. Just say no. So, also, make sure they understand what that means. Because a lot of men don't understand what that means, and they're not going to ask a lot of questions. They're going to be like, oh, you mess around with a lot of guys. No. So you want to really clarify what it is. Because you don't want to miss out on an opportunity, too, for a nice gentleman to pass by because he doesn't really understand what it means. Say, hey, well, you know what? For me, this is what it means. I want to really bond with more than one person, but I want to have a good connection, a strong connection with them. And, they're going to ask a lot of questions. Be prepared for the questions. So that's tip 2. Be prepared for the questions and have answers prepared. It's okay to kind of prep. It's like prepping for a date. You know what I'm saying? If you know you're going to have sex that night, you go shave, make sure everything's good. You prep for your date sometimes, okay? So if you want to do that, prep for this date. Let them know what your intentions are, what you're looking for, exactly what you're looking for, something exactly, what you like them to be in your life. You don't have to think long term. What does that mean for me? What is that? When will I be for you? You'll be a partner of mine, just like a regular boyfriend. There's no difference. I'm looking to really bond with you deeply and, hopefully go somewhere where we're actually in a committed long-term relationship, if that's what it ends up being. There's really no difference. It's just more than one of you. And you're just really supposed to worry about dating me individually, one-on-one, in this circumstance. So, tell them, you're not really supposed to be worried about everybody else. Stay in your lane. Don't cause a car crash. We're going to just worry about me and you and focus on us. And that's all you need to, focus on right now. So, the next step would be, tip would be move slow. Some people, it's overload. After they get past, you're going to date more than one person, what they're looking at for their whole purpose of being with you. Go slow for them. Don't start dating someone and then just automatically throw them into, okay, well, this is my boyfriend. You have to meet him tomorrow. Don't do it. Don't do it. They will panic and they will say, fuck this. I don't want no part in you or your boyfriend. Okay? You in slow. I have more on boyfriend. Okay. Don't gotta say nothing else. Okay, so let them ask a lot of questions. Let them lead a little bit. Men like to lead, right? A lot of times. Let them lead. Let them lead. What do you want to know? How much do you want to know right now? They'll tell you how much they want to. You ask me whatever you want to ask. How much do you want to know about them? I don't want to know too much. Okay. Well, there's two. And I want you to know at some point I would like you to, at least you need to know who they are. You need to know who they are. So if you see me somewhere, you see me with someone, you know who it is. You know what it's about. It's no big deal. You know who they are, and you know what's going on. So we need to have like a little review of that. At some point, maybe you'd like them to meet. Mention that. At some point, down the line, I like you to meet, at least say hi, something. You don't have to be a long meeting, something like that. Always let them know of your intentions and, what is to come at some point. But move slow. Throwing them into that whole thing is a lot. No, you have to walk with them. So, okay, we'll start dating. So if this is one thing you could do. If you're used to answering the phone for all your boyfriends when you're out, one thing you could do is when you're on a date, let the boyfriends know, hey, I'm on a date right now. So I'm going out right now with him. I'll be out for about an hour. Could you just text me instead of, call me or something? So then he feels more comfortable. You can do that. Set it up so your partner knows what's going on. And then when you go on your date, when you're on your date, you don't have to answer the phone really. You don't have to answer the text right away because they know what you're doing. And that way, the new person is not like, oh, well, is this going to be how it's going to be like all the time? Are they always going to be answering the phone when I'm on a date? They're panic mode. Remember that. We want to remove the panic. Introduce that slowly. Hey, if someone calls, I will answer. You will let them know, hey, I will answer. But they know I'm on a date today. So they know that this is new for you. And we're not going to, we're going to start slow and let you know how that goes. Okay? Wonderful. Then you want to also have a lot of communication happening. A lot of people, that communication is real rough for them, especially some men. They're not used to all that talking and communicating. But I'll tell you, every time I tell someone I'm going to be polyandry with them and they're thinking about it, they do tend to talk a little more. They do. And you tell them, hey, if there's an issue, let me know. I'm open for your conversation. I want to hear your conversation. I want to hear your concerns. I want to know what's going on so we can all have this communication that's going. If I do something that offends you or bothers you, please don't hold it in. Have that conversation with me. Let them know, like, I want to talk to you about things that bother you. I want to know what's going on so that at another time I can help you. Hey, thanks, Jim. So I also want to know what's going on. And sorry about the little outburst. I am dual streaming. So someone gave me a gift. I want to say thank you. But definitely go ahead and communicate with them all the time. Another thing you would do is check in with them once a week. Hey, how's it going? I just want to know, is dating me seem like it's what you like? Am I doing everything you'd like me to do? Is there something I could do better? Is there something that you would like to change? Have those conversations about once a week. Just randomly. It doesn't have to be expected time. Have that conversation with your partner about once a week for about 6 weeks. And then at about 6 weeks, they start kind of doing it on their own. They'll usually start, okay, I'm going to tell you something that's bothering me. Oh, okay. Well, let's go. Let's have a conversation. Because you're already, it's not, okay, I want to say you're kind of getting them into the routine of opening up. And so you have that conversation. Okay, so, and then the last thing I would say would be boundaries. If they have boundaries, I'll tell you, some boundaries can change. So at first, let them tell you their boundaries and you tell them maybe some boundaries you have. And then, let them know, hey, if some of their boundaries are too much, like, oh, you know what? I don't want you to ever answer the phone while you're in my presence with him. Hey, that's not going to work. What we can do is, if that's too much for you right now, we cannot do that right now. But we will do that later on. I will answer the phone for him. But if you're uncomfortable with that right now, we can work on that, and we can gradually have that introduced. But, at some point, I can't keep that promise to you. Like, those are things you have a conversation with. And then that's how you can kind of start your partner into the process. And if they think it's too much for them, they're going to have maybe some I can't do this days, and then some days they can do it. You're going to have to be real patient because they're trying something new that is changing their whole brain on how they used to act when they were monogamous. You're basically telling them everything they thought their whole life is now different, and that change can be a lot. So during that change, you want to be patient and you want to be able to allow them to come into it on their own and be be very sincere about everything you do. So those are my tips for you guys for changing from mono to polyandry. And I might add some more, but these are the main tips I think that will really help you in starting that process. Okay, you have a good day.